What up? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I am in effect. We are here tonight, and quite possibly, or as much as I would think, I think it's the end of the season tonight. I think the season ends tonight. I think this thing has gone on for as long as it's gone on, and I think it's over. Excuse me. I think it's over, and I think we're going to crown a champion tonight. And to be quite honest with you, about time, yo. About time. That's really all I can say. Those are the only words that I could really muster at this point when it comes to this. To be honest with you, for real, about time, man. Because there's still this pit in my stomach that I am still concerned with. And the reason why is because of the past failures. So yeah, there is this bit of concern, but I think this series ends tonight. I do think that these guys get it done. They're the better team. They've been the better team all year. There's no reason for this series to go on any longer than it has tonight. There's no other team. There's no other team in the league. Not in the league. I'm not just gonna say in the league. I don't want to shortchange it. I can't recall a team that was up 3-0 in the past, and then people were worried about whether or not they'd win in the NBA Finals. How many final sweeps have we had just in the last 40 years? Right? Since I'm going to go back to 1979, 1980. Right? I think that's 46 years. 45 years. We had a sweep in 83 in the finals. If I'm not mistaken, I want to make sure that I don't get this confused, guys. I want to make sure that I get this correct. We had a sweep in 83. We had a sweep in 89. We had a sweep in 95. The next sweep after 95 in the finals, a sweep. Let's see. We didn't get a sweep again in the NBA Finals. We had a sweep in 07. It's 4. Let's see. 07. We had a sweep in 18. That was 11 years later. We had a sweep in 18. So we've had, let's see, we've had 5 sweeps. So 83, 89, 95, 2002, 2007, 18. So we've had 6 of them. That's it. 6 in the last 46 years. 45 years, 6 of them. That's once every 7 years somebody's getting swept out of the finals. This is since the 79-80 season. That was 45 years ago. So we're looking at almost once every 8 years we've had a sweep, right? So sweeps are very unlikely. Very unlikely. More times than not, you don't get a sweep. And right, with that being said, right, with that being said, 5-game series where a team has gotten bounced in 5. It's been far more often that a team gets bounced in 5 in the last 45 years than they have they have been swept. Charles, make sure Magic was swept twice too, just so you know. Magic was also swept twice in those finals. Let's see. Jabbar was swept twice. So with that being said, when you have the better unit, right? When I feel like when you have the better unit, you have the better team, which I think that the Boston Celtics do. I don't think that this. I don't think he was. Just so you know, I don't think that this. I don't think that this series should go on any longer than what it actually has. There's no reason to prolong this any longer. Now, I understand from a business standpoint, sure, it's great for business if we could get a game 6 on Thursday or on Wednesday, and then get a game 7 on Saturday night. Oh, that'd be great for business. The NBA would love that. 100% they would love that. The drama, how much it enhances viewership. The casual fan would get to know who Luka is more. He'd get to know who Jason Tatum is more. But I don't ever remember a team that had been this dominant all year long and rolled through the playoffs the way that they did, and there'd be so much doubt about them. There'd be so much doubt about them. And I can look back on this and go, yo, I think they're doing it tonight. So after they do it tonight, I could look back on this and go, yo, we can end all of this, right? We can end all of this. This conversation can be deaded, because after you guys do it tonight, the thing that has to be recognized is you can't say we couldn't do it. You can't say we couldn't get it done anymore. No longer can you say that. Just like after 85, when the Lakers finally beat the Celtics in the finals, you can no longer say that the Lakers have never beaten the Celtics. You can't say that no more. We just did it. So to do it tonight and in this series, in your building, in the season, you would quiet a lot of critics, a lot of them. And anybody else who really was talking about it in a negative way, they would have to see this. They would have to pipe down. See, this era, I don't think that I'm going to see in this era. I don't think the Golden State Warriors are in this era. I don't think the Miami Heat are in this era. I don't think the Lakers are in this era. I don't see a team that's going to be in the NBA championship 4 or 5 times, winning it 3 or 4 times. I don't see that era. I don't see that in this era. I see a very spread out era. I see a lot of parity in this era. Again, after tonight, the NBA will have crowned the 6th different champion in 6 years. That hasn't happened since the 70s. That's almost 50 years. That's almost 50 years ago. So, excuse me. With that being said, I don't think that we see another one of those in this decade. Now, does that mean that we're not going to see another Lakers 7 times in 10 years winning 5? Are we not going to see the Lakers of the 80s again? Are we not going to see another Celtic team go to the NBA championship? 83, 81, 83, 81, 84, 85, 86, 87. 5 trips, winning 3. Are we not going to see that again? The Miami Heat going to the NBA championship 4 straight years. The Golden State Warriors going to the championship 6 times in 8 years, winning 4. Are we not going to see that again? I think we are going to see it again. I just don't think it's in this era. I just don't think it's in this era. Thanks, Vlad. I appreciate you, brother. I've been to Chicago a couple of times too. I dig it. I had a good time in Chicago. Chicago is dope. 100% it is. I had a good time in Chicago. I just don't think we're going to see it in this era. And because we're not going to see it in this era, that doesn't lessen the champions. Like, I don't look at the 74 Celtics any less than I do the 76 Celtics. I don't look at the 71 Bucks with Jabbar and Oscar any less. I don't look at the 73 Knicks or the 70 Knicks any less, because we had a bunch of different champions during that decade. I don't look at the Golden State Warriors in 75 any less. You played in an era with a lot of parity. So there wasn't one dominant team, right? So because it wasn't one dominant team, the fact that we can say we won the NBA championship with a lot of parity, I think that means a lot. 100%, I think that means a lot. So I think that I think that with this championship, one of the things that has to happen after they win tonight, because I think that they're going to win tonight, and I think the series ends tonight. So one of the things that has to happen is the respect for them has to change. It changed for Giannis. It changed for Joker. It changed for James. It changed for all champions, all of them. So there has to be a different level of respect for these guys. To hang banner number 18, being the best team all year, and I think that there's a different level of respect that we have to have for those guys individually, that they got it done. That they got it done. I can no longer say you couldn't get it done, or next year. No. Now, I understand the concern, getting blown out by 40. Getting blown out by 40 is a big deal. But it's not like I haven't seen when teams go up 3-0 or teams get a big lead in a series where that doesn't happen. I've seen teams get blown out in the NBA Finals before. This is not the first time that this has happened. I saw the Golden State Warriors in 2017. They go up 3-0 on Cleveland. Cleveland in Game 4 beats them by 20. They smoked them. Straight smoked them. Now, does that mean that it was just prolonging the inevitable? Yes. 100% it was. It was just prolonging the inevitable. I wasn't one of those guys who was ridiculous enough to think that the Cavs could beat Golden State. Nah, I didn't think it was happening. I felt like they were going to lose. They just prolonged the inevitable. That's all they did. And I've seen teams get blown out. I watched the Lakers in 2000. They're up 3-1 against Indiana. Indiana proceeds to stomp a mud hole in them, beat them by 33 in Game 5, smoked them, absolutely destroyed them, and pushed Game 6, smoked them. I watched the Bulls up 3-0 against Seattle in 1996. Up 3-0, Seattle smokes them in Game 4 by 20, smoked them. Right? Straight smoked them. So it's not unusual. I watched the Lakers. They weren't up in the series, but I've seen teams get blown out in the finals and recover. It's not ridiculous to think that this is just an anomaly. It's bad enough we've only seen 6 sweeps. We've only seen 6 sweeps in the last 45 years. That's it. 6 of them. It's very much a rarity. And with that Laker team, for example, in 2000, there wasn't this much concern with them. There wasn't nearly this much concern with that unit. And they had Shaq. Meanwhile, they had gotten swept out of the playoffs 2 of the last 3 years. In back-to-back seasons, they were swept out of the playoffs. There was a 3-1 lead that they had on the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers forced a game 7. They're up 3-1 against Indiana. Indiana proceeds to blow them out by 30 plus. By 30 plus. This is just the last 45 years. I ain't talking about the NBA in totality. No. And with that being said, right? With that being said, teams get blown out and they can recover. That Laker team in 2000, we were not talking about them like that. We weren't. We were not talking about them. We were not talking about them like that. There was always and it wasn't next year. It wasn't that logic neither. It was like, get it done. Get it done. Get it done. And the playoff defeats previous to that were far worse. There's no way that Laker team survives today if they had done what they did in the mid to late 90s. No way. Shaq and Kobe stay together. If that's going on today. To lose in 97 in 5 to Utah, the next year in the West Finals, to get swept by them, swept out the playoffs by them in the West Finals. And then the next year after that in 99, to go backwards and get swept out the playoffs again by San Antonio. If that was going on today, I don't think Kobe and Shaq stay together. No way. I think that the pressure on the public would have broken them up. I don't think that there's any way that they stay together. But we're in a space now with this Boston Celtic team where everything that's necessary that you need to win, you have it. Jaylen Brown is averaging 19 a game. These playoffs, I want to make sure that we're clear. While you guys are talking to me about how much of it, he's significantly a better player, right? He's significantly a better player than Jason Tatum. He's averaging 19, I believe, 3 and 2 in closeout games. These playoffs. Those are his numbers. He's averaging 19, 3 and 2 in closeout games. Jason Tatum is averaging 20 and 10 in closeout games. 20 and 10. Now, as a unit, I think that they are significantly better than, to be honest with you, I think they're significantly better than Dallas. And Porzingis, right? Porzingis is available, which I think is good. To be honest with you, I wouldn't play him. I think it's nice that he's available, right? I do think it's nice that he's available. But with that being said, I think that they could beat Dallas without him. I do. I think that they can beat that. I don't think that they need. I don't think that they need Porzingis to beat this Dallas team. I think that they still win. I don't think it would be an issue. I absolutely believe that. So I believe game 4. That's the first game that they've lost. That's the first game that they've lost this year on the road in the playoffs. That's the first game that they've lost this year on the road in the playoffs. They have not lost. Previous to that, they were undefeated in the Eastern Conference on the road in the playoffs. And I know a lot of you will tell me that the Eastern Conference was weak, and you still got to win, though. Despite all the stuff that you guys are telling me, you still have to win. We still have to go do our job. Yes, the Phoenix Suns had a less difficult road to the NBA Finals in 21 than the, the Nuggets in 23 or Dallas in 24, but you still have to win, though. Right? You still have to win. And because of that, doing your job matters. If Miami would have had Jimmy Butler, I think the series would have just been more interesting. I still think that they beat them in 5 games, maybe 6. Maybe 6. If if Cleveland has Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen, I still think they handle them in 5 games, maybe 6. That's without Porzingis. I still think that they handle them. And Tyrese Halliburton, I mean, he played half the series, and they still handled them, still with him in the lineup. But I do think that this series ends tonight. And I actually had a conversation, right? I had a conversation earlier, right? I had a conversation earlier today where I was wondering, where does this Boston Celtic team rank with the best teams in the last 25 years? I didn't go 30, 40 years. I just went just in the last 25 years. Where does this Boston Celtic team rank in the last 25 years? So I don't think that they were better than that three-peat Laker team. I don't think they were better than that San Antonio team in 03, in 05, or in 07. I think they would have given that 07 team a run for their money, but I don't think that they would have given that 05 team a run. No, they had no answer for Duncan. Ginobili was just so much better as a rotation player than any rotation player that they have. He was just so much better. I think that they struggle against that Detroit team. I don't think they were better than them. I think Miami beats them. Considering how talented that Miami Heat team was with Antoine Walker and Shaq and Dwayne Wade, and they had great rotation players in James Posey and Anderson. I think that Miami Heat team beats this Boston Celtic team because Shaq would have been too much for Al Horford. The way that the Boston Celtics play defense in these finals, very much one-on-one, and with playing one-on-one as opposed to what the Dallas Mavericks did, where they were triple teaming Shaq, and this is an older Shaq, it slowed him down, sure. I don't think they beat that 08 Celtic team. I think that 08 Celtic team was just tougher. I just think they were tougher. And it was powered by Garnett. I don't think they beat that Laker team in 09 or 10. I think they give that Dallas team a run for their money. I do think that I think that they give that Dallas team a run for their money. That Miami Heat team in 12, I don't think that they beat them, or 13. Let's see. That 14 Spurs team, that was the most beautiful basketball I've ever seen in my life. And I watched the 87 Lakers, the 2001 Lakers, the 92 Bulls, that 2014 San Antonio Spurs. That was the most beautiful basketball I've ever seen in my whole life. I've never seen basketball like that. I was, to be honest with you, and I'm a James guy. For any of you guys that don't know, I'm a James guy. And I was watching that, and I was getting emotional. Like, wow, that was fucking beautiful. I couldn't deny that. That 15 Warriors team, I think they give them a run for their money. I think they got a real good shot against that Warriors team. I don't think that they have a shot against that Cavs team in 16. I think that Cavs team, as talented as they are, as talented as Boston is, I don't think that they have an answer for James and Irv. The way that those two guys were playing at that time, no. I don't think they have an answer for any of those guys. The 17, 18, and 19 Warriors, I don't think they beat any of those teams. KD ended up getting hurt in 19. So I would give them a puncher's chance in 19. I still don't think they beat them, though. They don't beat that Laker team, but I do think that they give them a run for their money. The 19 Raptors team, I can't believe I skipped over them. I think they give that 19 Raptors team a run for their money. But Leonard was so good that Leonard him and Kyle Lowry, the way he played defense, how they willed them. I think that that 19 Raptors team beats this Celtic team. Even though the Celtics, if you look back at what they've done offensively, I think their net rating is rival to the 69 win 96-97 Bulls who won the NBA championship. They were the only team that had a better net rating. And that 20 Laker team, I don't think they beat them. I think they give 21. I think that they give 21 Milwaukee a run for their money. They beat all those other teams that didn't win a championship. I think they give them a run for their money. The 21 Bucks. I think Drew Holiday was probably, I think Drew Holiday was probably at his best during that time, and that was in year 12. And I love this Drew Holiday. Yeah, I really love this Drew Holiday. Yes, I love this Drew Holiday, but Drew Holiday of 21, he'd have his hand. 24 Drew Holiday would have his hands full with 21 Drew Holiday. He would have his hands full. I think that Boston's rotation is better. Now, I know that Giannis is the X factor, and can he be neutralized? I'm not sure, man. Even with Porzingis being healthy and being the stretch five that he is, because that's who would combat Brook Lopez. And, Jaylen Brown, I feel like Jaylen Brown, he could cancel out Middleton, but Giannis in 21, him and Tatum going at it, and I seen Tatum go at it with Giannis. I seen him go at it with Giannis in 22, and staging off elimination, and Giannis is at his peak powers during that time. And I seen him go at it with him. I think that they're in the bottom five. Yeah, I do. I think that they're in the bottom five. I don't think that they beat that Nuggets team last year. I don't think that I'm not sure if they beat that Warriors team. I think they're in the bottom five. Each one of these guys we can have a legit conversation about. But I honestly feel like the respect has to change for these dudes. I do feel like the respect for the Boston Celtics after tonight, when they win the NBA championship, I feel like the respect for them has to change, because being the best team in the league the entire year, being the best team in the entire league, being the best team in the league the entire year from wire to wire, and running across the teams that they ran across, and to handle the Dallas Mavericks the way that they did, right? To handle the Dallas Mavericks the way that they did in 5 games. I think especially in a league now with so much parity, I feel like there's a different level of respect that has to be had for this Boston Celtic team. It has to be. 100% it has to be. And I am confident that the masses will see that. You can't continue to talk about them. You can't continue to talk about them in a negative light after tonight. You can't. The respect for them has to change. It has to. Off the strength that it's not easy winning the NBA championship. It's very difficult to do that. Very difficult to do that. I've heard little about teams that have had the teams that I've heard about having cakewalks to the finals. The 21 Phoenix Suns had a cakewalk to the finals. Let's see. The 87 Lakers, I think that they walked to the finals. Yeah, I think the 87 Lakers, I think they walked to the finals. There's very few cakewalks that I've seen. So I got a super chat I got to deal with really quickly. Who's better, Jrue Holiday or John Stockton? I don't think that's a conversation, Matt, but thank you for the super chat, brother. I think it's John Stockton, and I don't think it's a question of whether or not it's John Stockton. But I definitely think this championship with this Boston Celtic team after tonight, there haven't been many teams that have gone wire to wire, been the best team in the league all year long, marched through the playoffs and won the NBA championship in convincing fashion like they have. It hasn't been many who have done that. There have been teams that have finished in third place, in fourth place, in second place. There have teams that have actually finished in first place. But the teams that have gone wire to wire from the beginning of the season, to the end of the season, we were the best team in the league. That's not as common. I don't think that is common, as especially in this era. Not just the 2020s, but like in the last 25 years, or in the last 10, 15 years, because of the movement of players and how guys move around. I don't think that there's enough respect on when there's parity. I don't think that there's a lot of respect on parity. So I'm ready for this, and I'm not ready for the season to be quite honest with you. I'd be lying if I said I was ready for the season to be over, even though the season doesn't end. Right, the season doesn't end with the finals being over. We still got a bunch to talk about. The draft is coming up. Free agency is immediately after that. You got the Olympics this summer. So there's still plenty to talk about, right? There's still plenty to talk about. So, but I am ready for. I'm definitely ready for the Celtics to end this. I'm definitely ready for the Celtics to end this season and be the champs that they're supposed to be. So we'll find out. I've had extensive conversations, and people are under the impression that because I dig Jason Tatum, that I'm a Boston Celtic fan. I dig Jason Tatum. If he wasn't on the Celtics, I wouldn't be watching the Celtics. I wouldn't be watching the Celtics nearly as much if he wasn't on them. If he was playing somewhere else, I'd probably be watching that team, because I'm more of a Tatum fan than a Celtic fan. It just so happens that he's on. It just so happens that he's on the Boston Celtics. So I think it's dope. I just feel like the respect for this unit has to change after they win the NBA championship tonight. I feel like the respect for this unit has to change. If it doesn't, then they have to win it again? I mean, I'm trying to make sense of, especially in this era of parity. Do they have to win it again in order for the respect factor to change with this unit? Because what and if that's the case, Do we hold that same logic with Joker? Do we hold that same logic with Giannis? Do we hold that same logic with Curry? Do we respect 22? Yes. 22 is respected. Is 21 respected? And if it's not, why not? Because I don't really hear a lot of you guys talking about the 21 finals in a bad way. I don't. What I hear mostly is how awesome Giannis was in those finals and how he dominated DeAndre Ayton. That's what I hear mostly. And the all-time great closeout game that he had. So is it going to be, are we just disrespecting this championship, or are we disrespecting all of them? Because it's not like we've had a team. They're the only team that's been back to the finals in this in this era since 19. The Boston Celtics are the only team that's been back to the finals. So, and when I say been back, and they're going to win it at the tonight, they would be the only team that's been back to the finals and won it. Because I think Miami was in 20, and then they went back in last year in 23. So I wonder how respected this championship with the Boston Celtics is going to be. I got a lot of respect. I got a lot of respect for what they did. And the reason why I got a lot of respect for what they did is off the strength that wire to wire, they were the best team in the league. And to cap it off by winning the NBA championship in this kind of fashion just validates what you did all year. I would have to respect that. I have to. 100% I do. I would be wrong to go, well, this team, they didn't really play anybody, because you still have to win. I'm not listening to that stuff. I'm not listening to you didn't play anybody or the super team logic. I'm not listening to none of that. That goes in one ear and right out the other. I ain't listening to none of that. I will not entertain that. Absolutely not will I entertain that. What up?
What's good, Chill? How you doing?
What up, brother?
Good. I just want to just capitalize off what you were saying this whole time. Like, I am a firm believer of you got to play who's in front of you. I don't really care about the injury logic or anything like that. It sucks. Yeah, they didn't have the right way to win or the right path, how it looks to you, but who cares? Like you said, they have to get it done. And I'm more excited about what's going to happen next season because,
Yep.
like you said, the parody that's been going on, and I think what's going to be fun about next season is, are they going to be able to break it? Like, is this going to be a back-to-back situation? And I'm really hoping they can do it, because it'll be like, we've been here 3 out of the past 5 years and we won 2 of them. So what can you guys really say? And
It'll be 3 out of
especially
4, actually.
3 out of 4.
Yeah.
So then it would be, okay, Joel comes back, Jimmy comes, which, like you've always said, it would be interesting, but these teams, I mean, Celtics would still win. You would still expect the Celtics. Everybody expected them to win. They just didn't like the way they were winning. So which one is it? Like, did you not expect them, or what it is? Like,
Right.
it,
It's a, if Jimmy Butler plays in that series, because I'm not sure if you heard me talk about this, but in that series, in 4 to 5 games, they had leads of 34, 38, 29, and 28. In 4 to 5 wins. That's how much they were up. If you're telling me that Jimmy Butler makes that much of a difference, not in keeping them in games, but winning, you got to believe that he's the best player in the league. You have to.
and I don't at
How
all.
can you not believe that he's not? If a team is getting handled like they got handled, getting blown out like they got blown out, dominated like they got dominated, for one guy to come in, is he going to make it not respectable, but they're going to win with him? You got to believe he's the best player in the league. You have to.
And he's not even the best player at his position. So it's
You
not
got to
even a
believe that.
conversation to be had. So I really think it's like the Celtic hate train. Mind you, I'm not even a Celtics fan. Just like you, I'm
Me
a
neither.
Tatum guy.
Right.
So and I've really just become objective to this to say that Boston just clearly has a better team. They're clearly, just above everybody else. Like that front office did an amazing job at making this team for the past when Jaylen Brown got drafted.
17.
17, so 17 starting onward.
16, I'm sorry. He got drafted in 16.
Even if you want to go a little before that, like with all the draft picks moving this out, they've built this team into what we know them as today.
Right.
And I think, it's just get the job done. Like the Boston weight game has to end tonight, so we can finally give the people who are objective, they'll give them their respect.
Right.
If they busted your team's ass while going on the way to the finals, you're not going to.
How can you if they exactly what you just said one more time is exactly
like,
what you just said.
The only the fans that got their asses busted, the teams that got their asses busted is not going to respect them, which is crazy because if it was anybody else in that situation, you're going to respect. You're going to just give it hats off to them because I think it's Boston and and the reputation they have is really just, it's not even a conversation to be had. Like, this is the best team.
Well, I've had this conversation in the past. If you look at and thanks for hanging out, if you look at the Boston Celtic, take Boston Celtic off the jersey and put New Orleans Pelicans, put Memphis Grizzlies, Portland Trailblazers. If you put that on the jersey, we're talking about this crew way different. They're an up-and-coming unit if we're talking about them. If that's what's going on with this crew. I think we're talking about them way different than we're talking about them right now. But I just feel like there's a level of respect that has to be given to this unit after tonight when they get it done. I just feel like they do. What up?
Chill. What up, sir?
What's up, brother?
Two things. One, I don't think Boston is going to get a lot of respect off of this championship. But if they run it back, I think the whole narrative for this championship and the other championship completely changes because it shows that they were truly a dominant team. And I don't see anybody in the East that really is going to oppose them next year. Maybe New York, depending on if Tibbs don't run his team into the ground. Maybe Philly if Joel can stay healthy. Giannis.
I'm out on Philly, Minor. I'm out.
And truth be told, I'm out on the Bucks. As long as Doc is there, I have zero trust in the Bucks. So there's no reason why this time next year, Boston should not be in the same position. And if they do it again in the same fashion, dominating wire to wire the East, you're gonna have to put not only respect on next year's team, but definitely this year's team because they showed y'all, hey, this was not a fluke. We're legit, regardless of what y'all saying. We still here. And ain't nobody slowed us down. All the videotape y'all got on us from last year to this year, it ain't meant nothing. Y'all still can't figure out a way to beat us 4 times in a week.
I think about when you win it back to back, what it does is it solidifies you. That's Absolutely. What it was. That's what happened with the Lakers in '87. Like to go back and win it again in '88. Like we are the real deal. When the Pistons, that brand of basketball that everybody just downed. I couldn't stand the Detroit Pistons and the Bad Boys. I hated them dudes. The only reason why I watched them was because of Joe Dumars. Joe D was my guy. That was the only reason why I watched them. But what it did was when they won it in '89, I had to respect. When they won it in '90 and handled Portland in 5 games, I had to respect that. This is a ball team. This is a damn good ball team. I can't just look at the quote unquote tactics. Like this brand of basketball, they got damn good players. I couldn't, and they got a good system too.
Wow.
The
correlation between both of those teams, Chill, now that you said that, is very much true, especially looking at even who Detroit played in the finals that year. Playing Portland.
Swept the Lakers in '89, and then the next year smoked Portland in 5 games. Smoked them.
And nobody, I remember that series. Nobody respected Portland. Nobody thought Portland should have been there. Just like a lot of people don't really believe Dallas should be here and the finals. Everybody had in their mind it was going to be Denver
Yep.
making it to the finals. The
Uh,
other thing I gotta ask you, because you're the only person I know that can reach out and possibly put this in your cousin's ear. Can we get inside the NBA to do the finals next year? 'Cause it's going to be the last run. Can we get that?
that'd be great.
Can we get that send off?
That'd be great. I mean, they do the pregame stuff on NBA
Yeah,
TV. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they do the pregame stuff on NBA TV, but it's the best show on television. And the fact that
And
it's
it's
going
coming to an
away,
end.
yeah, the fact that it's going away, it sucks. It does.
Yeah, man.
It
If
sucks.
because they got Craig to do the finals.
Mhm.
I think maybe the year before he passed. If
Yeah.
we can get inside the NBA to do the finals, I think that would be the perfect send off, man. I really do.
I think so too, B. I do. So good to talk to you, Minor. You know where to find me at, brother.
Always.
Yeah. What up?
What's good, Chill?
What's up, brother?
Chill. I don't respect it, Chill.
Why?
I don't respect it. And this is why I don't respect it. I think they deserve it. More so, I didn't want them to win. Because the cakewalk thing for me, though, the reason I don't respect this is because I don't like the Celtics. The cakewalk thing never made sense to me.
Right.
Because on Player's Choice, everybody was killing you when you was talking about Tatum and the Celtics.
Mhm.
But even earlier in the year, everybody still had the Celtics winning.
Now all of a sudden they're in the NBA Finals and they're about to win. It was a cakewalk. I mean,
Yeah, now
which
people have
one is it?
amnesia and are saying the Celtics shouldn't have won, but this was like not even like in-season tournament. I remember one game the Celtics got blown out. I forgot by who. And the Celtics literally weren't trying. And everybody was like, even after a blowout game, they lost by like 30, and everybody was still like, this
Right.
doesn't mean anything. We know who's gonna win the finals.
Now here's the thing, Dave. Here's the thing, David. You cannot like the Celtics. I can get with that. I take no issue with that. But there's one thing to not like something and something completely different than respecting it. I couldn't stand the Detroit Pistons. I couldn't stand them dudes. Of all the teams that I can honestly say, with the exception of watching my Mets in '86 win the World Series, right? My 49ers winning the Super Bowl 5 times in my lifetime. I didn't enjoy watching a team get bounced out of the playoffs more than watching the Bulls mop the floor with the Detroit Pistons in '91. I loved every minute of that because I couldn't stand them dudes, but I had to respect what they were doing when they were winning. I had to respect it because I sound crazy if I don't. Because the brand of basketball that they played, even though they had the quote-unquote tactics, they did run a lot of good stuff. They had a lot of good action. You cannot like the Celtics, and I can dig that. I could absolutely dig that you don't like them. But the respect factor, it has. You might not. I can't stand the Yankees, but I respect when they win.
Yeah, I think I'm more leaning towards I don't like that they're winning more than not respecting it. Because even the Bucks, I mean, some people would think Giannis here. We still didn't have the Bucks. Like most people were completely out of the Bucks. You the whole year were calling them fool's gold the whole year. Even when they went on that little winning streak, you said this is not real. So this is,
and turns out
it wasn't real. So nobody had these guys losing. Most people had them finals bare minimum. And I had Jokic. Me personally, I wanted LeBron to win because I'm a LeBron fan. But if LeBron didn't win, I had Jokic winning. But I wanted Luka to win the finals.
Right.
But I knew if Luka made the finals, he was gonna lose, most likely, because this team wasn't good enough. I didn't know Irv was gonna be this bad at the Celtics arena, though. I thought I thought the Celtics were gonna wipe them in 5 with Kyrie playing good.
No.
So
Sorry,
I didn't know
brother.
Kyrie was gonna do this to me in those 2 games.
Sorry. I think he's averaging 14 a game in Boston for the series.
Yeah, but he's like 30 at the Mavericks house.
28 a game at home. And it's a complete flip-flop from Dallas to Boston. Complete flip-flop. So I don't think anything changes tonight, to be quite honest with you. I don't.
Yeah, I had the Celtics in 5.
Yeah, I don't think anything changes.
Last game, I don't know what happened. I think Jay Tatum looked like he wanted to win right there, but I don't know. Everybody else seemed they were into it. Hauser looked like he was playing hard too. But
no, he looked like he wanted to win more in game 3 than game 4. Game 4 looked like a straight wash. They like those dudes. Y'all could have stayed home for this. We could have rolled with the reserves in this game because you dudes did not show up at
Yes.
all. So I'm good.
Yeah, last game didn't tell me anything. I don't have them winning the series. I still have Celtics in 5, but I hope Luka puts on a show tonight. And I hope Kyrie puts on a show so he can at least make his series look respectable a little bit.
Maybe. Good to talk to you, Dave. Appreciate you, brother. Yep. What up?
Hey, OG, how are you?
What's up, brother?
I was just wondering what you thought Tatum's mindset should be going into this game. Like, even though they got blown out last game, but just in an individual person mindset. Because I feel like in the series, he's been trying to be too much of a facilitator rather than, like, he's good at facilitating, but I feel like he's leaning so much on that side that we're losing crucial points. Or at least Celtics are losing crucial points that they need from him. If you were him, what would you kind of be going into this game like? What do I need to do to do what I need to do?
Just beat Dallas. I'm not thinking about winning the NBA championship. Beat this team. That's it more than anything. Play my game, play the brand of basketball that got us here, and beat the Mavericks. I understand that we are in the NBA finals, and that kind of pressure could mount on you and make it more than what it actually is. But if you just keep focused, all right, we got to beat the Dallas Mavericks. Not necessarily to win the NBA championship. We got to beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight. We beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight. We good to go. All I got to do is play the way I know how to play.
True.
And if I play the way I know how to play, we beat the Dallas Mavericks tonight. That's it.
It kind of reminds me of when I was listening to an interview with Kobe, and they were saying how like they're up in the series and they were nervous because they were starting to lose, and they needed to win one more game. I can't remember which year it was, but he started laughing his head off while everyone else was nervous. And they said, "What are you laughing about?" He said, "Well, if you were to tell me that all I needed to do was win one game the whole year, and I win the NBA championship,
I'm taking that.
then we'd win it." It's like, let's just go in like it's one game in the game one in October.
Right.
Like, and it's the same idea.
Sure. I'm definitely taking that. I don't think of all the teams that this Celtic team has to have the pressure on them. All the heat's on the Mavs. All of it.
Yeah.
They lose, they're out. If we lose, we still got 3 games to win 1. But we're not going to play like that. We're not going to play like that. We have 3 games to win 1, but we're not going to play like, oh shit, we got to win tonight. No, no,
you got to balance that out.
Like that. No, we're not going to play like that. So
100%.
Good to talk to you, Lee. When we can't play like that, because if we play like that, then we open ourselves up for even more mistakes. We open ourselves up for more ridicule. You play tight instead of just rocking. Don't really concern yourself too much with what happens if this goes wrong. No, man. It's basketball. Play basketball. I feel like that's all you have to do. What up?
Hello, Chill.
What up?
You get me? You get me?
You hot?
Well, I think you know where my respect level lies with the Boston Celtics. I've been basically beating this shit out of you for over a year and a half about it. I have nothing nice to say about the Boston Celtics. The reason being is because I'm from New York and they're the Boston Celtics. I'm always gonna disdain. The two,
part of it.
Do you know where I'm from? I'm from a city of sore losers. We ain't giving no damn respect. We don't like you. F you. Screw you. We listen. We had this city held tournaments where if the referee didn't make the right call, we had smoke with the referee at the game. It's just that simple. Now I'm not saying we, as in me and people I know, but
it's gonna be tough to get. It's gonna be tough to get out of town.
That was just the mentality.
It's gonna be hard for you to get up out of here. You might want to hang around and wait for some people because it's gonna be hard for you to get up out of here by yourself.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? This is a city that before 2012, man, like you couldn't be outside after a certain amount of time. You couldn't be in a park in a certain amount of time. You couldn't win a game of basketball against the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is.
Hey, I'm from Jersey, so I know there's certain part. I got people in Red Hook, so I know how they get down in Brooklyn.
Exactly. And East New York, whether it's East New York, whether it's Brownsville, it's the same way in Bedford-Stuyvesant, and it's the same way in the middle of the midst of it. I have grown up around a shitload of sore losers, a minuscule. I'm talking about just this disgruntled, just this. I wouldn't even say hate. I wouldn't even use the H word because I don't like that. It's just the disdain when it comes to the Boston Celtics in this city. It doesn't matter if it's Brooklyn, Manhattan, all of it. When your Mets won the World Series, who did it come against? The Boston Red Sox.
Yes.
I was looking at a documentary the other day. You remember? What do you remember about the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals?
I remember the Boston. I remember the Boston Bruins won it. I do remember that.
Do you remember what happened afterwards?
I don't know what happened afterwards.
The Vancouver Canucks fans had
they had a riot. They had a
outside
riot.
the building.
Yeah, they had a riot out there. Yeah, they did. Yeah,
But
they had a
I
riot.
don't want to get you. I don't want to get you thrown off because they did the same thing in 1994 when they lost to the Rangers. So realistically, it's sort of become sort of a kind of friendly.
It's who they are.
Thing.
It's who they are.
Well, I guess if you want to say that's who they are, that's who they are.
You would think not because it's Canada and Canadians don't really get down like that. But yeah, that's who they.
Yeah,
that's who they are.
Canada is very friendly, But at the same time, you just
not when it
thinking
come to
like,
hockey.
damn.
Not when it come to hockey.
Not definitely not when it comes to hockey. But listen, it is a strong possibility that the unthinkable could take place. Like I'll give you a perfect example. What was going through your mind when LeBron was down 3-1 in 2016?
I thought the series was over.
You thought the series was over.
I thought it was over.
Did you have the respect for that same Warriors team in 2015 that you had in 2016 when they blew a 3-1 lead to the same team that they beat a year ago? Or was it they didn't have Kyrie, or did they have Kevin Love? So should I really respect the Boston Celtics title just off the strength when meanwhile you, who has this chump right here in the back screen of your thing as the number one player, we got to remember that when he didn't have certain pieces or whatever, you know what everybody did? They gave him excuses. They gave him, oh no, he didn't have him, or he didn't have this player. So basically, without saying it, you're saying that the Golden State Warriors in 2015 didn't really beat LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers at full strength. That's what I keep hearing.
Well, we all know that's what happened.
So the respect for the 2015 Warriors championship goes out the window.
No, it doesn't.
LeBron doesn't.
No.
Why not? Why not? Tell me why.
The reason why is because they did still have to win it. That's why. If they didn't win, now it's a choke job. But they still had to win it, and they did win it. Despite the fact that James had the crew he had, despite the fact that no Kyrie throughout the rest of the finals, despite the fact that Kevin Love was lost for the playoffs in the first round against the Celtics, despite all of that, you still got to go out and win. If they didn't win and they ended up losing, then that's completely different. But then it gets flipped where with James actually having his crew hobbled, I could say, yo, they beat them without my crew. But now that we had our crew, you got your crew, now let's settle this. And it got settled. 100% it got settled. That doesn't mean.
How do we look at the Golden State Warriors when the 2016 finals was over? How do we look at them? You know what we said? The 2015 championship was a fluke. That's what we said. You know why?
It was a fluke. I didn't say that. I didn't say it was a fluke. What I said was he didn't have his whole crew. That's what I said. I said he didn't have his whole crew.
LeBron James didn't have his whole crew.
He didn't have his whole. That don't mean it was a fluke because again, you still got to win.
So that didn't mean it was a fluke. That didn't mean it wasn't no validity to 2015 at all. That didn't mean it. That didn't mean that it wasn't honest. Even though they came back the next year, won 73 games, and stormed right back to the finals, and it was down 3-1 to KD, and then they went up 3-1, and then they blew the league. You said they got to finish the job, and they didn't finish the job. And compiled with that, LeBron finally had his guys that he didn't have last year. So the narrative changed. And like you told me many times on your channel, you know what it's about? You know what runs this shit more than anything? Narratives. That's what runs it. And the narrative is going to be that the Boston Celtics had a cakewalk. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what I believe. It doesn't matter what anybody in Boston believes. That is the narrative because narratives run this shit. And me and you both know it's true.
Not mine.
Of course not yours. I'm gonna do my best to make sure that that's not gonna be my narrative. Of course you are. You know why? Because you got a little horse in this race, a little light-skinned boy. You know,
and there's people who listen to me. And it's people who listen to me. So
and there's people that listen to you and they follow you.
people who
And
listen
there's
to
people
me.
like me that support everything that you're doing because I like everything that you're doing, but I don't like everything that you say. And
you can't. Well, you can't leave. I mean, my grandmother always told me, man, if we agree on everything, one of us shouldn't be here. Let's be clear about that right now.
Right,
so if you was up here, yes me, and I'm yesing you every time, get the hell. I don't want to talk about that. No, I don't want to do that.
And I want to touch on everything that's compiled up to this game. And you talked about how Game 4 was a pride game for the Dallas. I look at it as just maybe they found the way that they can compete and win, and make this series at least believable, and I dare say win this damn series. They found, like, now the thing that I figured out about the Boston Celtics, you're not gonna out talent them. You're not gonna outshine them with talent, but you can beat them with hustle. You know who proved that? Miami. They did it not once but twice. You know who else beat them with hustle? The Warriors. They did it when they was down 2-1 to them in the finals. So my thing is that what is it like when and this is what I've been trying to tell you, and I haven't really touched on it. When the Boston Celtics run into teams that have that grit, that have that fight, that have that I'm gonna get down and I got the role players and I'm not backing down. We're gonna hit you, we're gonna fight with you, we're gonna scratch, we're gonna claw. Are you willing to do the same? It's your fight. I know you got the talent. I know you got your backcourt is all defensive. I know you got all NBA talent. I know you got Porzingis that you're trying to sneak back in the lineup, and he has a torn medicinal.
I don't know what it is, to be honest.
I don't know what it is neither. But as soon as they said torn, I said, why is his name and play in the same sentence? It's bullshit. So my thing is realistically, maybe, just maybe, Dallas figured out that they have to outwork them. They have to out-hustle them. And I seen Boston get out-hustled, and I seen them get out-toughened, and I seen them get out-worked many goddamn times. And Game 4 was no different.
Not this time.
And
Sorry,
to the person that said, hey, the cause is not the same in Dallas that it is in Boston, I agree with you.
I ain't even on that.
I'm not on that neither, but we all know it could be a factor. But at the same time, my thing is maybe, just maybe, Chilltown, just maybe, the Dallas Mavericks figured out they gotta outwork these dudes.
I think that that's always been the case when you're talking about you. First of all, in this league, very few series that you're going to be in, you're just going to out talent somebody. That's not going to be the case.
Is this
more times than not? No, because they don't have the talent. Is this a series where if Boston wins and then we come to the conclusion, we just say they out talented them? No, I don't think that they out talented. I don't think they out talented
Dallas.
I do think that they outworked them too. I don't think they just out talented them. You can't just be we're more talented than you. I mean, because we've seen teams in the past who were less talented and got outworked. I don't think that that's the case here. And the Celtics have shown that with being more talented, not only have they outworked other teams, that's why they're up in the finals like they are. They're not up because Dallas is laying down. No, they're kicking Dallas ass, and it's not because they're more talented than Dallas. Even though they do have a better overall team than them, their schemes are better. Their action is better. All of everything that they do is better. The Dallas Mavericks did not spot them 3 games. They beat Dallas 3 games legit. And this series ends tonight, Leaf. I think it's over tonight. So we're going to find out.
I think that Dallas has a lot more fight than anybody gives them credit for. And I think that what you told me the other day when Luka got sat on the bench and Jason Kidd told him, yo, look what's happening. Look at your guys. Look at your teammates. They willing to scratch and claw and fight and damn near die.
You gotta get on our page, B. Even though you're the best player, you gotta get on our page, yo. Are you
willing to get down with them? Are you willing to get in the mud with them? And are you willing to swim through this bullshit ass green mist, nasty, leprechaunic, gold, whatever the hell you want to call it?
I think we had a point where it's too late. mean, it'd be great. It'd be great if that was the case in game one, but I think that we had a point where it's too late. So I got to bounce, Leaf. Good to talk to you, brother. Yep. What up?
Yo, what up? What up, Chill?
What up?
Yeah, man. I just wish I had your optimism about the game, man. You so sure that this is over. I just don't see how you could watch game 4 and have that much confidence. Because, like I said a while ago, Tatum, he was doing the same things that Luka was doing, and with me, it's just about his attitude. Sometimes I don't like how Tatum approaches the game and like some of the shots he take. For me, if his first shot tonight, that's going to tell me how he's going to play. If he drives to the basket, and I don't even care if he makes it or not, but if I see him drive to the basket, that's a good sign for me. But early in the game, if I see him hold the ball and take a late clock like contested midi, I'm going to be very discouraged, man, because then that's going to just set a precedent of how he's going to play the whole game. So I think he needs to just like be aggressive and drive to the basket. And I was going to ask you, with basketball, do they have like offensive and defensive coordinators, or is it just like a head coach?
They don't officially have them. That's what Tibbs was in 08 for the Celtics. He was their defensive coordinator, but it was unofficial. He was called the assistant coach, but he was the one who designed their defense. Tex Winters, when he was with the Bulls, he was the one who designed the triangle. That's their offensive coordinator right there. So, I mean, they unofficially have those guys who are X and O guys, and head coaches more times than not. If you look at head coaches, I think Spo is a great X and O guy, but he's got an X and O guy, right? Spo is a great X and O guy. Popovich is a great X and O guy, but he's had guys like that. So, and they lean on those guys too. It's not, those guys aren't just figureheads. No, those guys know when to call timeout. Those guys know defensive assignments. Those guys come up with the defense. It's not just the head coach that's coming up with all of this stuff. No.
Right, because I'm a football guy, and one thing about football, sometimes the coordinators be more important than the head coach, because they see things like every time, like each play, they see things like, okay, we need to attack this, or they're doing this whenever we do this, and they can make a lot of counters off of that. Right. And I think that would help like a lot of basketball players, because like sometimes like when you're watching the game, as fans, you be like, man, all they got to do is do this. But I don't know if it's like the adrenaline, why they don't see that on the court when they're actually playing. And so if they had somebody be like, hey, no matter what, just do this for these next couple plays and let's see how it goes. So I think that would help.
Also, too, you being a football guy, you can appreciate that there's also assistant coaches, whether it's the defensive coordinator, whether it's the offensive coordinator, or the linebacker coach, or the running backs coach, who will say in meetings, this is a terrible idea. A prime example would be I remember when Green Bay played Atlanta in the playoffs. I want to say in 2016. And the idea was to play Julio Jones one-on-one on the edge. And there are some people in the coaches meeting going, all right, we're going to do this. There's one guy in that meeting going, this is a terrible idea. He is going to fry us. We can't do this. We can't. That's the guy who the coach needs to be listening to. Because how come everybody else is on board and you looking at this and you don't like it? That's the dude I think Julio went for like 186 that day, something crazy like that.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a terrible idea to play Julio in single coverage.
Somebody was in that meeting going, this is a terrible idea. This dude is going to fry us.
Yeah, but I mean, just like I thought it was a terrible idea when Boston does the switches, and then you said that it was because we wasn't game rebounding, but I still don't think switching with Pritchard in the game, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, what good comes out of that? I feel like they should just run a zone whenever Pritchard is in the game, because I think he can do a lot of stuff good for them. I don't want to say not to play him, because he has a really good tempo, and I actually think they should use him more offensively whenever he comes in the game because of the pace that he plays with. But I think on defense, they could cause some problems if they run a zone with him, and that can kind of confuse things. Instead of just keep switching, and then all they're gonna do is just attack Pritchard the whole time. So I think Joe Mazzulla needs to make some adjustment. I know he's stuck in his ways, which it got him 64 wins, so it's kind of hard to change. But I don't think it's nothing wrong with making some adjustments. I mean, this is the last series, man. You got to try something else.
We're gonna find out, class. Yes, we are.
Yeah,
We're gonna
for
find out
sure.
tonight. I will say that. So good to talk to you, brother.
Yeah, man.
Good to
Thanks
talk
for
to
having
you.
me up.
Yep. All right, guys. It's about that time for me. It was good to see you guys tonight. Next time I talk to you, I think that we will have an NBA champion. I think the series is over tonight. I will see you guys soon. You know where to find me if I'm not here. Monday to Friday. I'm on TikTok, 9 a.m. And I'm here Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursday nights. I'm here. And I'm going to get back to giving my takes like I did before. So I'm going to get back to that because I've been getting some feedback about, how come you haven't, dropping your 10, 15-minute takes that you used to. And I will get back to that. But it was good to see you guys tonight. We got a ball game going on tonight. I will see you guys soon. But until then, put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother. When's the last time you talked to your mother? Call your mother. I'll see you guys soon. But until then, take it light. Take it. Absolutely, man. It was good.